thank you so much for tuning in today and welcome to my podcast studio. Before we start on today's episode, I just wanted to take a quick moment to say I am truly, truly grateful for you being here. It means the world to me and my guests for us to be able to share our conversation with you. If you do like what we're talking about, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. And if we do talk about something that you either agree or disagree with, please put it in the comments. We would love to hear your feedback. Also, please don't forget, I do a lot more than just podcasts. So every Tuesday, I'll put out a drum playthrough. I'll also documenting my journey on writing my solo album, which will feature a lot of guests that have been on the podcast. I'm also putting up a lot of tips and tricks of stuff that we do talk about in some of the podcasts, like insights that I get from some of the guests that share their journey in the music industry. Once again, thank you so much for being here. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. And again, please don't forget to subscribe. Let's get into it. And I think we are actually live now. How are you, boys?
Nice.
Hello.
And welcome. Oh, we need to turn the fireplace on, man.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's static.
It's way too cold in here, man. Here we go.
Geez, I have to take the jumper off.
Yeah, I know. It's funny. Every time I seem to put it on, everybody's like, it feels like it's got a little bit warm. But no, it's good. It's good.
Just the rays coming off that TV, the radiation.
I know. It might be depending on how we go with the thing. Oh, hang on. What's happening up there?
Too many people trying to get on.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, maybe I think we might just refresh this here because I can see it looks like it's still running. It might just be there. We go. The reference was just lacking. We should not be looking at that screen at all.
Okay.
So, here we go. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for coming in, man.
Thanks for the invite.
Thank you for having us.
It's good. We obviously have a little relationship going here. The five of us, it's like one big family. Yeah, I don't even know where we should start because there's so many things that'd be cool to talk about today. But we could probably start with the new single that we that we shared the other day, "Fall in Line."
So, what do we want to talk about? The new single, yeah?
Yeah, because obviously I remember when we spoke last time, which is about 6 months ago or something like that. Sometime last year. That was just after you released Into the Great Unknown, and we were sort of chatting about the future and stuff, and you didn't really know if any new songs were going to come out. But now it seems like not only have you got a new song, but there a couple of new songs are happening.
Yeah, well, we were talking about maybe putting some new stuff out, but it wasn't going to be until later on because we didn't think that we had sort of given the album enough time to put. We were thinking there's maybe a few more songs there we could probably still put out. But we had a bunch of songs there that we thought, maybe we could just add a little EP to this, and I don't know. We just thought, why don't just put it out now and just add to what we've already put out? So why wait? That was kind of what
Yeah.
That's what we did. So now we're just going to try and release them kind of one at a time, the ones that we wanted to record, and then hopefully by the end of the year we'll have an EP out. So
that's so exciting.
That's the idea.
That's so exciting. So what sort of like the topics for the new album? Because Fall in Line is sort of has quite a different feel to it compared to the songs on Into the Great Unknown. Like it seems like it's a little bit more dark. Got some more angst.
Yeah, maybe. Well,
Inspired by world events.
Maybe. I think this new album, well, some of the songs on it anyway, are probably less personal than the last album, if you know what I mean. Like the last album was all pretty much about relationship breakup and family and that kind of things, but this one's just about things in general. Apart from maybe the song that we're doing at the moment, Duncan and I are working on a song today that Duncan had kind of penned, and it's I don't know what that one's more about personal stuff, isn't it? So maybe that might be the only personal one on the new EP.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, but so it's pretty much this one. Fall in Line's just about freedom of speech, really, trying to say what you want about without trying to be put down for your views, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Has that got anything to do with like the whole world situation at the moment? Then?
Well, maybe the other boys could talk about that. I was saying nothing.
I don't think it does. Not to the listener anyway. I think that you can put it into any situation. The lyrics, doesn't to me it doesn't specify one particular, worldview or anything like that. Do you think? I don't. Well, you wrote it, so you probably got it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like songs like that. You just listen to them and put it into your own perspective. Yeah. But yeah. Can we move on from that question?
Absolutely.
That question. I still want to have some friends around the place.
No, it's just about you not wanting to get a job, isn't it? It's about you not wanting to go to work at Spudshed.
That's right.
That's what I thought.
Exactly. That's
what I take out.
Well, that's what again would be another good segue to having the chat about the whole stigma about being a musician these days, because I suppose that is something that a lot of people, especially a lot of people that I've talked to, is sort of on their something that they would love to do either part of full time.
Yeah.
So this song, I suppose, again, and I know we are moving on from this, but without sort of having to work at Spudshed or anything like that, in regards to having like a more career in music, how would you sort of try and steer towards that, if that's something that is still on the cards?
Well, for me personally, I think I'm the only one here in the band that doesn't really have a full-time job. Well, actually, Sam as well. Maybe
I don't either. I got a part-time.
Yeah. So I don't know. Sometimes I just wish I had the full-time job but music doesn't leave me, and I don't know about you guys, but it's like something that it just doesn't matter if I had $1 million in the bank, you'd still want to play music. So that's kind of
But it is a bit of a struggle, right? Trying to make music, trying to make money out of music. It's hard. It's always been hard, but it seems to be getting harder. When you sort of releasing streams, you don't get a lot of money for streams, and Craig and I were sort of talking about even if you're doing sort of sync licenses and things like that. If you go down that path, then perhaps there's a lot more competition in those sort of spaces. So it continues to be tricky, and it is frustrating, because you sort of got people with lots of skills, who if that was classified as a professional skill, would get paid a lot of money for those skills. And this is an industry where they probably don't, or very few do. So I don't know. I guess we do it ultimately because for the love of it, we actually really enjoy doing it. And then we'll see where it goes.
Well, I suppose it's also like when you sort of look at like the music industry as it is now, there's personally, I reckon there's so many more opportunities than if you are sort of utilizing some of like all the online platforms. If you sort of look at it more as like if it is something you want to do as a job, then obviously like you have the option to freelance, you have the option to put your services out there. For instance, like Craig is an absolutely amazing songwriter, so obviously say for argument's sake, say you had like an overload of songs, and you like I reckon there would be quite a few bands that would probably buy some of those songs. But again, I reckon there's a lot more options for you to try and utilize other avenues and just going by the old school way of just playing gigs and recording songs. But again, at the same time, it's, as you said, it is obviously tricky to try and focus on that 100%.
I mean, it is interesting because it is sort of something that we explore. And I had lunch with someone in that field on Friday, and just to sort of understand a little bit more about that. And it's difficult, even trying to go down the path of sort of being a songwriter, giving songs to other bands. There's a whole realm of potential people in the way, be it publishers or whatever. And in this industry, it can be a pretty frustrating issue where you kind of got to get through the hierarchy of opinions, or actually get people to listen to the music properly, right, and actually give it the necessary attention. That's not easy, and I guess partly is because those people in those positions who can sort of help with that probably get a lot of songs thrown at them, so probably hard to filter through, I guess.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I think in my case, it's almost like I do covers gigs, so probably about 150 or 180 covers gigs a year, and that kind of helps me to do this. But I think that
when I was kind of coming up, I saw a lot of really, really great players that were like far better drummers than me, kind of struggling, because they were just relying on doing gigs, and a lot of the gigs, they weren't particularly high paying ones because they were more artistically fulfilling, I suppose. And so I saw that and I thought, oh God, I got no chance, So I think that's when I started going into trying to do stuff on the other side of it, like setting up my own studio and getting into that kind of side of thing where you could actually make money without, it costs a lot of money, as you'd know, like costs you a lot of money to kind of get it all set up and everything, but then you kind of you've got your fingers in a lot more pies, I suppose. So that's how I do it, and I'm married well as well. My wife, that's the other good part of it. Is like if you, my wife makes good money, so it kind of lets me do that as well. But
that obviously helps on the lifestyle, to be able to do that. Yeah.
I don't know. I've never been one to be a struggling musician and be on the bones of my ass. And you read stories about Jaco Pastorius being homeless and all this kind of stuff, and it's like, well, he was the best bass player in the world at one point. And it's like, God, like what chance do I have? So I think once you kind of get over yourself like that and you think, oh, okay, well, I might not be the best musician in the world, but I know how to work and I know how to get along with people and I know how to turn up on time and I know how to not be too drunk and, all those sort of things will help you sort of work as a musician.
And know how to get help from ScoMo.
Yeah, well, that wasn't for long, but yeah, but I think you can do it. Like, and I think like what you're doing, you just got to back yourself and just be prepared to kind of to cop it. But yeah, I don't know, and I suppose a lot of people would argue being in a covers band is like being like a day job anyway. Like I know some people would class what I do as like, oh, that's like your day job anyway, like.
I suppose at the end of the day, like you're playing music and someone is paying you money.
Yeah, that's it.
So
yeah.
I think that's again like beggars can't be choosers if it is something that you do want to sort of do for a career. So yeah, like, as I said before, I think you just got to try and be a bit more creative, and obviously what you're doing definitely works.
Well, it fits with what it's probably wasn't because I've had day jobs and everything where it's been more financially secure and everything, but just in my position where I'm a stay-at-home dad, where it just allows me to do that and do gigs and do all my music sort of stuff as well. So it kind of fit in well for me, but I know not everyone's in that sort of situation, but yeah, anyway.
Well, again, I was about to say it's worked out well for you because I've had the opportunity to sort of take your place a couple of times.
Yeah, but I think I'm to be honest, I think I'm my own worst enemy. People have offered me little jobs. I can come and do some handyman work. Cut a few lines. I go, yeah, that sounds awesome. I love to do that. And then I go, oh, what excuse can I make so that I can sit home and write a song that's not going to make it? You know what I mean? It's like so. In some ways. I reject jobs that I shouldn't. I should take, but I think that's because you're passionate about the music, So
for sure.
Yeah. Well,
so I can't complain,
You just do enough to make sure that you can do what you want to do.
That's right. And like Sam, I've playing little solo cover stuff, and it's quite enjoyable. Yeah, pays the bills. So yeah.
Yeah, and you're playing good music. Yeah, I think
exactly right.
That's the thing. It might not be playing music with this, but you're still performing and you're still out there as a performer. And
that's right. Yeah.
Well, again, I suppose like how you can look at it, like again, if it pays the bills, or some of them, that's really all you need.
Yeah,
like you need it at least as a supplement. And from what I can understand, like Ben, you play a couple of covers as well.
Yeah, I was doing it for years and years full time. Well, not full time, you know what I mean, like, and earning enough, like the same amount that I would at a full time job. But I just burned out on it. I just couldn't do solo gigs anymore.
Right.
I was dragging Sam along to at least have somebody there to talk to, and taking half the money as a duo gig. It's a really lonely existence, the solo covers scene. I mean, a lot of people love it. Like, there's a lot of guys in Perth that have been doing it for decades and still are and make a really good living at it.
Right.
I find it's just really taxing. And every time I've gone full time with it, I've found myself, I start thinking I'm so lucky to be able to do this, and I only work 12 hours a week or something. But it's all the stuff either side of it, and it's just to me it's, and like you said before, there's so many people that would love to be able to do it for a living, but then when you get into the grind of it, you sort of realize that maybe it's better. But then I go back to, I get a real job, I get that, and then I go and I think, I should go back and play music. But yeah, but I've got a nice little balance now. I've got a part-time job, and which keeps me in the real world, and then I do 1 or 2 solo gigs a week for them purely for the money.
Fantastic.
And it's great. And then having these guys as a
creative outlet. We actually, we don't feel like a slave.
Exactly.
Oh.
And to be able to go and play real gigs with real proper original songs and have that as well. It's kind of, I'm in a really good spot at the moment. Yeah, so it's good. Yeah.
Well, I know all too well about the whole cover thing. That's pretty much what I've been doing for the last 7 years or something like that. But it pays the bills, but it doesn't really give you any fulfillment.
No, not at all. I mean, back when we were all kids, I'm sure, out of school and in our 20s, I'm sure we all loved it. I know I did, and I know Sam did, when it was fun, and you could pretend to be a rock star on the weekends and got paid for doing something. Like you're at the pub, you would be there anyway, and they were
That's true. Yeah.
And they're giving you free drinks and paying you on top of that. We used to think, oh my god, this is the best thing ever. So, and but I suppose like everything, it gets old.
Yeah,
for me,
we got old.
We got old. Yeah.
Older.
We do. Yeah, it's like it's not 46 Brigade anymore.
I'm 46. I'm kidding.
That's awesome.
46-year-old.
We named it after Ben.
Yeah. That's fantastic, man. So obviously, we've got some gigs coming up as well. We've got the one at Linnets. What is it next?
Saturday, Saturday coming up.
Yep.
We're in fact interesting because it's Linnets now, right? That's what it's called. But
I can't.
Linnets Lounge.
It used to be the Boston, I think.
It was the Boston. That's where we did the album launch actually for Into the Great Unknown for the album. So we haven't been back since. So we're really looking forward to it, and it'll be the first gig since we did the 1927 shows, which were excellent. Fantastic. As you know, being there, and so we're really looking forward to getting out and playing again. A bit longer set. This one, which allows us to throw a few other songs that we have been wanting to put in the set, and hopefully we'll get a few people that saw us at those 1927 gigs will come and get to see us. At our own gig, so
absolutely, man.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's going to be good, and it's a pretty good lineup as well. My daughter was supposed to be playing, so if anyone's bought tickets to see my daughter, I'm sorry. That's Leah Ballantyne's, but she's not going to be actually opening the show, unfortunately, because she's gone to live in Bustleton at the moment. So, but the 3 bands that are on there, like ourselves and the Silent Deeds and Bravo Inferno, I think it's going to be a great night. Bravo Inferno are a band who they had a really big following in Perth about 6-7 years ago, I think, and then
11 years. I think.
Was it as long as that?
Was it? Yeah, 11-year reunion.
Oh, wow.
And so they're having a reunion, and so I'm looking forward. They've got some great songs as well, and they're starting to write some new songs. So I think a lot of people will be coming down to see them as well. Now, of course, the Deeds of their quality act, and then we're going to close the night. So looking forward to it.
It's funny, when you were at Boston last time, or when you had your album launch, you had Silent Deeds playing with you as well.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, I mean, and they're great. I mean, they just got a great energy. Yeah, love their energy. Yeah,
it's a powerful little 3-piece.
Yeah, it's great.
I think sometimes they play live as a 4-piece nowadays. So.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure what it'll be like on Saturday, but yeah, that'll be good.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
Yeah. Looking forward to it.
And there's another gig coming up next month as well. Where we are
that's actually not our gig. We're just doing this a little bit of a support for Band of Misfits. They've got a single launch coming out, which they've kindly asked us to open for them. So we're going to do that one. So we've got a couple of gigs coming up, and hopefully trying to get some more along the way. It's not easy to find gigs these days, though, but it's well, the ones I say not easy to find gigs, the ones that you want to be playing in, so
that's true.
But these ones we're looking forward to,
I was about to say, but you just had a pretty good run.
We did, we can't complain about the ones we've just played.
Yeah.
They were great.
I think there's obviously I've spoken to quite a few people that after you guys play those two gigs, like, man, how do we get those kind of gigs? How do you get supporting, to like get to support an act like 1927?
You got to know a guy called Duncan McIntosh because he knows everyone.
Duncan in the band.
No, he can tell the story.
Well, it is about that, isn't it? It's about
It's context.
It's who you know.
That's right.
Absolutely. Yeah.
we know Duncan.
Yeah.
Hey.
Well, it's about who you know, and like always, it's actually, having a bit of, a gumption or something just to pick up the phone and ask the question. And a lot of the time it's no, right? And most of the time it's probably no. But you just got to keep asking the questions. And every now and again, and it was really Dave Green, who runs DG Global, who I've known Dave for years, and we know some of the guys playing in the 1927 band, right? So they were the sort of connections that we sort of knew, and Dave Green, he's just a real supporter of music. Doing these things isn't his main gig, right? He's really big in the corporate scene in terms of putting on corporate shows, and he's does an amazing job of that. But he's always, as long as I've known Dave, he's always been really supportive of musicians, doing their things. And I think, doing the 1927 gigs and helping, that's part of that. And then when I sort of asked the question, he was very receptive. And so then obviously he asked Eric from 1927, because originally they weren't going to have a support band at all. And so, Dave ran it past Eric, and Eric, listened to the stuff, and he said, yeah, we'd love you guys to do it. So yeah, it's really just asking the question.
And actually, I haven't told the boys this yet, so this is a bit of an exclusive, but there might be another half decent support act coming up. Which I might I might just keep that one under my hat because it might not come off, but that was a connection again, that a drunken connection last night actually, but so we'll see if he still remembers about it today.
Oh, that's a big cliffhanger, man.
I know. No, these things, lips are sealed, mate. Lips are sealed. You can't speculate on these things,
But so obviously, like gigging in this current climate, like I say, we can only really sort of play Perth or WA. So, like, have you guys considered maybe trying to go somewhere regional, or trying to head down to Marks, Bunbury, up north?
Hey, well, we were just talking about that today, actually. Yeah.
Oh, we can.
Yeah, we were Craig and I, because we were working today on the next single, and having some lunch. We were sort of just chatting about things, and we sort of threw that up as as a potential idea, going and doing a couple of regional shows, which I think it'd be great. It'd be great for us. It'd be great as a band if we were able to pull that off and go, because it's always it's always great as a band to jump in a Taraga or something, and go and do some gigs together. It's bonding, right?
Sleep in a swag.
He's gonna sleep.
And it's actually we're at that stage where we're keen to do shows, because we're live. We're still getting, we're still formulating and getting better as a live band, and so the more that we play, the better we get, and we're really enjoying that. So to do something like that would be fantastic, and it probably makes a lot of sense at the moment, the current climate, right? Because people aren't leaving, so they're probably either heading to the regional regions, or the people in the regional regions are really looking forward to things coming to them. So
yeah, I'm sure they would really appreciate having some live music coming up, people putting the effort too.
Absolutely. So yeah.
Well, they've been saying in some of the regional towns are looking for like people to pick fruit. We could maybe do that before a show or something.
That's a good way of sort of adding some fuel money, some insurance, or
that's right,
along the way there.
You never know, but big fun.
How but in regards to sort of setting up a regional tour, how where would you even start?
To be honest,
is that
Steph,
again people
to be honest, Steph, I don't know. I think I don't know how you do this stuff. It's like we probably need the people that.
Yeah, and if you don't, you just get to know them, right? You just pick up the phone. That is really the key in any stuff, is not be afraid to pick up the phone, and not be afraid to get told no, or send an email and get ignored. It happens all the time, right?
But we know a lot of people who have done them. I mean, James and they a few others that have done it, and that might have a database of phone numbers that they can call and set up tours. So yeah, maybe it's just talking to people that have done it as well. Get some ideas.
Well, that's again another thing. Like most of very the whole band community is usually sort of fairly helpful and really good at sort of helping each other out and stuff. So yeah, I suppose it would be. Actually, I think Silent Deeds have done a couple of regional shows. So it might be an opportunity to maybe pick their brains.
Yeah.
I think Sean Bennett. I think he's helped booking a couple of regional shows as well there.
Yeah.
So yeah, it would definitely be a great opportunity to try and go down. And obviously, we could also head south as well.
Be nice. Yeah.
Always good to head down to Marks as well. But sort of like if like the more sort of the grander scheme of things, especially now sort of with the new EP coming out and stuff like that, have you got sort of maybe some bigger plans for the future? Anything in the works?
I don't know about what the boys think about that, but I would love to do some.
I know you still want your
tour,
festival gigs.
That to me would be. I'd love that, but I don't know. I think just no expectations. I mean, just try and book a few shows and see where it takes us. I think I'd love to do something national shows, but we've got families. We've all got families we've got to think about as well. So I don't know if the opportunity came up and it was feasible. I don't know how you guys.
I think for me, it's just about the process. Like I just love creating it, and I love sending all the files back and forth and getting that's what I love doing, all of that sort of stuff. Yeah, and then coming out with a finished result that you can make a video clip for, or you can put it on Spotify. Like I'm still amazed that you can chuck stuff on Spotify. Like you can put on Spotify and it's like, oh shit, that's me playing on that. That still blows my mind. It's like when you're a kid, if you had your name on an album or something, it's the same sort of thing. So that's, and not having any big lofty expectations where you're like, okay guys, we're gonna tour the world and we're gonna conquer the world, and not having any of that sort of pressure or anything on you, and just enjoying the process. And that's when you start creating good stuff, I think. Like rather than trying to write something because you got a particular aim in mind, where it's just like, okay, well I've got a song in my head, I've got to write it. Yeah, it's the way to go. And I think that's why I like working with these guys, because everyone's got the same sort of. And then once it's out, it's like, okay, well now we can start thinking about what we're going to do with it. But actually in the process of it, just writing it because that's what's in your head, and coming up with your parts and everything, that's the coolest part.
It's such a good setup that you've got. So obviously, if people are watching, was it Pictures for Better Days that you recorded there?
Oh
yeah. We sort of done a little studio video there, man. But that's so fortunate too to have a setup like that as a band. We can go and literally record or jam or do whatever you want whenever you want.
It's nice. I kind of set that up just to play drums but yeah, it's become a whole different thing where we can base ourselves there and we can work out of there, or Craig works at home really well as well, so it's not like we have to use that space. Like most of the album came out of Craig's spare room there, and we tracked a little bit of bass for the album at my place, but all the drums were done there. But I think for drums, I think it's definitely good to have that, just even that amount of microphones, as like having 16 microphones that you can plug in, and it's a nice little luxury to have. And I know a lot of bands, and I think because we don't have that kind of overhead of having to pay for drum rooms and drum recording and all that sort of stuff, and an engineer and everything, because we kind of do it all ourselves. And and I've learned a lot from doing it, and so it's almost been like work experience for me, kind of thing, like getting paid to learn, so it's good.
But that's also something that really sets you guys apart as well. Like especially like the whole, I know the whole creation of Into the Great Unknown was pretty much like a DIY. Like I know you recorded pretty much everything at home, and you did the drums and came in, did the bass, and then you outsourced the mixing part. That obviously allows you to get a top-notch mixer and spend some more stuff on the actual finishing of the product, because you can track everything yourself. You've only really just got to put your time into it.
There is something about tracking though that tracking guitars, I'm not good at. I don't know how to track guitars, so I was using a lot of these plugins.
Right.
And I'm not sure that we should be doing that again in the next one, because something about the guitars. I think for the next EP we need to sound a bit more full. That's just my opinion. I don't know how you guys feel, but maybe Ben's gonna, because you guys track guitars at your studio, don't you?
Yeah, we've done some. I've got a little Boss amp like a what is it?
A katana. Oh,
Katana that we've mic'd up that sounds great, and then Ben's got a couple of really nice amps that we chuck a mic in front of, and
it's cool at Sam's place because we got the live room and the control booth, and you can lock the amp in the live room, soundproof it, and crank it. Yeah. So we've done a couple of things like that where we which I've never had any experience in doing before. Being able to turn my amps up that loud and hear how they sound like they're supposed to run, I suppose. Yeah. So, but there'd be a few. I don't know how far we got with that last attempt, but
well, I still run a clean one straight into the computer. So,
yeah.
So, then we can chuck.
It's definitely a good idea to have both options. Like so you can always go back and reamp it, or you can put a plugin on it.
Yeah, but some of the plugins these days just sound exactly like the old amps anyway. I struggle. So good, I can't tell the difference.
Yeah, because I'm not a guitarist and I'm not great with guitar sounds, but yeah, to my ear they're like. Yeah, they're pretty good, but I can always. You're probably talking the same as me because I can always hear samples, and I can always, sampled drums. I'm talking about. I can always hear electronic drums because they don't have the same attack. I reckon like when you get sound replaced albums that they've kind of played electronic drums or whatever, and you just don't get that attack. So I don't know if it's the same with amps, but I don't know. I can't really hear it. To me, like some of those amp modelers and stuff are amazing, and you can move your microphone around and give it more air if you want.
Yeah, no, they are pretty good. But I've just found in the last little while trying to come up with guitar parts. When I go straight to like a VST plugin, like Amplitude or something like that, I can never seem to get what I would get out the amp. That's just. I suppose you have the whole response when you sort of talking to the amp and you get the feedback. So, but anyway, I mean, it's not. I guess that's not a breaker, a deal breaker.
It's the sort of thing where we could just come in the afternoon and just redo them or whatever, if you're not happy with them. So yeah, it's good that we've got that option.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the fact you don't need to go up and hire like a really nice studio to sort of sit there and just waste another day or two trying to track stuff, man.
Yeah, it is. We're very lucky in terms of the skill set within the band, right? To be able to do everything from beginning to end. Like, so the only thing we outsourced was the mixing, really, to Thomas, who sort of, and I think that was the right thing to do. But in terms of, obviously musician wise, it's a great bunch of musicians, but in terms of tracking or arrangements, Craig's fantastic at that. Sam's
but also
got a great
video
studio.
stuff as well,
that's right, and the video stuff. Doing all the videos ourselves. Yeah. So you can actually produce great quality productions, put out a great video, and it's all done in house, right? And
but that's nothing new for 46 Brigade because you guys were doing it before.
That's right.
Like with your green screen that you guys did, and so you tracked and did the first album.
Yeah, that's right. We did in the old shed out the back with the green screen and stuff
many moons ago.
Yeah, that's right.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember when we spoke last time, you had that really cool story about when you were shooting the video for Sorry and the whole cameras and you found them and all that stuff. But,
stolen camera. God, I've forgotten about that.
God. That's right. Yeah, that was before you sort of officially joined, I think.
Yeah. That's the initiation.
For it. I just asked you if you knew where it was.
Yeah, that was it. Should we let this guy Ben in? Bloody hell, he's a thief. He's not getting in this. He steals cameras.
No.
Look what I found. Oh, you're in the band. So.
I got blamed for leaving the camera on top of the car or not picking it up or something.
I just said I just asked you if you knew where it was.
We got home and I'm going. I'm telling you, I put it in the car.
Yeah, so for everyone who doesn't know the story, you kind of thought that the cameras had been stolen because there were some dodgy people walking around.
Yeah, they were stolen. We were lucky. Craig and I went back and we found them in a flower bed, and I couldn't believe it.
That's so amazing, man.
Because the worst part was the SD. Yeah, the SD card was still in it with all the footage for Sorry, and that was what I like. Yeah, it was probably. It
was an expensive camera though, wasn't it?
Probably like $7 or $8 grand worth of camera.
And it was raining that night. We just got there before the rain, and the guy that these people that had stolen the camera had chucked it in the rose bushes or something, but the top of it was open. So if the rain had got in there, it was like, but.
Imagine.
So they've opened the thing,
finding the camera,
they've seen the
and
camera,
then it's water damage.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was. I was thinking, oh, well, my insurance would probably cover the camera, but I was worried about the SD cards. And
absolutely.
like ever since then, I've always put the SD cards in my pocket.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the same camera that shot Fall in Line video. There you go. Lived to shoot another day.
I was supposed to, because I just wanted to ask you about that. Like, how did you go about making the video? Because the video is quite sort of cinematic as well. You got a lot of people, a lot of actors.
Well, we cheat a little bit if I give away a couple of secrets, you know. But we like to try and see if we've got if there's some royalty free footage out there that might suit the song. So we kind of tie that in with the stuff that we shoot ourselves, and
That's
well, it's two things. It saves
the
cost for starters.
100%.
And also
I'm all for that.
And if it works, then why not? You know.
100%.
So
I mean, again, if you got the tools available,
but we still obviously had to find the location, which was I think it was your wife's works car park, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was looking around for a warehouse to kind of fit the footage we already had, and we just couldn't find one anywhere. And it was getting closer to when we wanted to release it, and so I just asked my wife if I could use their work car park, and so so we got there at 9 o'clock or something and shot it all. And, right. Yeah, it worked good.
And it was great because he had the wide angle, and there was a big mesh gate there. And right, we can use this. This is going to be consistently right through the theme of the thing, because he was doing like a circle around each member. Yeah. And then just at the last minute, we didn't realize there was a guy's car parked in that area, you know. And then all of a sudden, he opens the door and the car comes out. And no! Now there's going to be no consistency. There was a car in, but luckily you can't really see the car, so it's all right.
I suppose you could always edit it out with some of some of the stock footage or something like that. But so was that did you specifically look for that footage? Did you have that stock footage first and sort of wrote the script around that, or?
No, it was just you just search for some footage that's free to use, and then you go, all right, yeah, that would suit the song. And if there's enough of it, sometimes you find something there's not enough, but this one was like a whole sequence and stuff, so we just kind of.
Yeah, but I mean, but that's, you know, there's a lot of work, you know, and like, you know, Craig he put together that side of it, and he's really good at, you know, putting together those sort of footage things. But then it was Sam's idea to do the car park stuff that really suited it, and then between them, sort of in terms of the colouring and making it all fit, there was quite a bit of back and forth, particularly between production. So there actually was a lot of work involved in, you know, getting to the final product, but we're really happy. When we all saw the final product, we went, that's it, that looks great.
It does. It looks great.
Yeah, it's excellent.
How's the response been on the video?
It's been huge. I mean, it was really, really well received. You know, we got shared heaps of times. I don't know what it was, but it got really well shared by people, and really fantastic because lots of people really supportive. Check this band out. I don't normally do this. I would never normally send out a band that I'm not linked with. You know, some of the comments that were coming out, but check this band out. This is an awesome clip, a great song, and so it was really, really responsive. So it was fantastic.
Yeah, and for me, if we just keep doing that, if we kind of get onto that little hamster wheel and just keep putting out a song, putting out a video, and then the live gigs will kind of happen in between. But yeah, for me, that's my focus.
I agree. Yeah,
is that process, you know, like seeing it through, because I'm great at starting stuff and I'm absolutely shit ass at finishing stuff. So for me to actually finish anything and is huge. Like, so if you know, the first time Craig sends me an MP3 with just the demo drums on it to having the video on YouTube and the song on Spotify, like, for me that's celebration time, you know. It's amazing because I think we've all been in bands where you go out and you do a few gigs and you play around with a few other bands and stuff, and that's about the scope of it, you know. But for us to be involved, and like Ben and I have been in, because we're brothers, so we've been in bands. God, I think I played in his first original band in Bathurst when I was about 17 or something like that, and
Stank.
And
Is
so
that the name of the band?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant Sam.
no,
No, we were
did,
called
but-
Stank.
Stank.
It was in
Stunk,
the. That was
Yeah.
what
That was a
mid
genre.
'90s.
Yeah, I had a
We were a
little.
grunge band.
I had a little Ford Escort panel van. I used to
Of
drive it from
course.
Cowra to Bathurst with my drums in it and go. And I think we did 1 or 2 gigs, and
We played Village Fair at
Yeah.
the Bathurst Uni.
I thought that was and that kind of sets you off on that path of doing all of this stuff. But I suppose nowadays with all the technology and how easy it is to do everything yourself, like it's quite nice to be able to finish stuff. Whereas back in the day, we probably wouldn't have had the means to finish anything.
And then it's probably some of the strength of the 4 of us, right? Because getting it finished, you know what I mean? It's like, often, or probably all of us, you can be guilty of starting something and not really getting it finished. But when there's 4 of you and you all got, got an invested interest in that, you're kind of driving each other along and pushing each other along.
And
I think that helps get it finished and get it done.
yeah, no, I don't think it's nothing that we've sat down and consciously spoke about. Okay, you're going to do the video and you're going to do this, but it's kind of like everyone's fallen into a role where Duncan's really good at picking up the phone and talking to people, whereas I'd never do that. So everyone's kind of fitting into a role where no one's really discussed it, but we're really it's quite fortunate that we've gotten that, it's just happened.
Yeah,
like
it's so
that, so.
so important to have to have different roles. So it was shocking if everybody was good at the same thing.
Yeah.
It's very fortunate.
Oh yeah, if everyone, say if all 4 of us were video editors, nothing would get finished. Nothing would get finished.
Just
Because
Well, you'd have
yeah,
spectacular videos though.
Yeah. Oh, I don't think you will. I don't think you get anything finished. Like they might be spectacular, but no one would ever see it. And same as if all of us got on the phone hassling for gigs or whatever, like it's good that everyone's fallen into line.
Falling in line.
I see what you did there, Sam.
That whole 3/4 of an hour was leading up.
There we go. Thanks for coming.
Has everyone heard the new song yet?
It's funny though about the whole like not being able to finish things, because I think so many, especially musicians, sort of lack that issue. I'm guilty of it as well, and I remember back in the day, like we always had that ongoing joke about closing the gates.
Yeah,
and,
that's right.
and stuff, but it seems like fall in line seemed to me anyway, from from a bystander, that sort of went fairly easy. Like again, as I said, like you got video ready, like you had
maybe that came as like what you were talking about, closing the gates, because back in the day I was definitely guilty of that. Like, oh, can we just try one more thing? Can we try that? And then never ever get it finished. And I remember you guys and you and Matt were pretty frustrated at the time, but I think now that it's gone from 46 Brigade to 57 Brigade, there's less time to be worried about that kind of stuff. You just finish it and get the next one out type thing.
Yeah,
but try and make it the best we can.
Might be because everyone's aware of what they can and can't do, I suppose. Like I know when you're younger, you're always striving to be, I'm sure if I did one more drum take, I could get it and I could do this fill and all this kind of stuff. But now it's like, okay, that's as good as I'm going to do it, and you're fine with that. Like, I know that there's stuff that I can't do on the drums, and so it's like I know I can't do it, so it's like, okay, we'll just be happy with what you can do, and it's finished, and on to the next one. Done. And it helps though if you've got a good song to start with to work on, and so when you talk about, okay, well, Fall in Line came about pretty easy, which it didn't. There was a couple of little hurdles in there along the way, but it helps you to get stuff finished when it's not a big massive pile of shit. And like I know my hard drive's full of massive piles of shit that's just not even worth finishing, So
what we don't know here is you actually started the song 2018.
Yeah,
we just don't know that.
No, that was actually.
It did actually come about pretty quick, didn't it?
It was December of 2020. So
Craig, what's happened?
I don't know.
That's awesome.
Things are speeding up, so
yeah. And again, and you're using Thomas.
We kind of just. To be honest, we talked about that and we thought maybe we should go with someone different for this next EP. And then I don't know. Did I just say one day, oh, let's just use Thomas again, because we like what he did. There was no reason that we wanted to use a couple of local guys that we think do a great job, and obviously keep the the money in WA, so to speak. But I don't know. It was the process last time that was we worked well for us. So why break something?
It's almost got its merits having somebody remote like that, where you can send it to him and you can say pretty much whatever you want back to him, and you don't even know the guy, so you're not worried about hurting
Offending
his
him.
feelings or because it can be a bit of a dance sometimes, even with us putting our parts on songs. Sometimes you got to know what you want to fight for and what you want to let go, I suppose. But having, especially mixing, which is so subjective, there's no right or wrong way of how you want it to sound. But I know Craig was writing some pretty detailed kind of things, which might have been harder to communicate to someone if you're sitting next to him in front of the computer while you're mixing. So I suppose it's got it works for us anyway. It worked.
Yeah.
And it was a little tricky at first, but I think he's kind of worked us out, and we've worked him out as well. And it's where we almost know that the first mix
He wasn't like not again.
No, I don't think he was.
The gate closes.
It was like if you.
I thought I closed that gate.
Yeah, like imagine
Left it open.
if the four of us walked into some, I don't know, some guy was like had a cooking class or something, and the four of us walk in with this bunch of ingredients, and we all sit there and we go, right, we're going to make a chocolate cake. Okay, so we chuck all the ingredients together, we mix the chocolate cake, and then, right, you taste it, Sam, what do you reckon? Oh, I reckon it needs a little bit more sugar. And then Ben, no, it definitely doesn't need any more sugar. And Duncan says, oh, no, it definitely needs more chocolate, It's the same thing as music. You can sit around for hours saying, more guitar, more bass, more... And the cake never gets finished, if you know what I mean. Whereas you send all the ingredients to someone else, they give you back the cake, and you go, all right, yeah, that's pretty good. Maybe if we just tweak a little bit of less sugar, and you can chuck it back to the guy, and then it comes back with a slightly bit less sugar. Right, it's done.
And then it comes back, and Craig says, "Oh no, I think I want a carrot cake."
I'm too fat, Thomas. We shouldn't have made a chocolate cake in the first place.
Well, I suppose sometimes it can also be a bit of a relief to actually get a complete third party to give their input, because they might hear the song with a completely different set of ears.
I reckon it's 100% the best way to go. Yeah.
Definitely.
Because
that, like a producer role, you mean, where they kind of hear it from their own perspective and put their spin on it. And then
I suppose as a producer, you could also argue that they might want to also sort of help like restructure some of the songs and like actually try and rebuild them to make them suit better. If you want to put in another chorus or like a bridge or whatever. But by the time you have done everything, you just hand it over. Then it's just a matter of them just like sonically just hear how they would interpret the expression of the song.
Yeah, definitely.
I think we're pretty good at producing ourselves. Like and I know we respect whoever's written the song. We pretty much respect what's there. We don't try to turn it from an apple into an orange, like we kind of go, okay, well, so I think we're pretty good at that, as far as not having an outside person saying, oh no, you definitely should make the chorus half there and you should add a bridge and a guitar solo and blah blah blah. Like, we're pretty good with that. But
like you said, it helps when the first demo comes through and it's pretty much spot on.
That I was just thinking about when we made Fall in Line, because I remember thinking when I first got it, and the drums were pretty much what they were, and I was thinking, I don't like the drums like that, and so I played whatever I wanted on it, and I sent it back, and then it took me a couple of weeks, and I was like, oh shit, I'll just play what Craig, and then it worked, So
I think it was just that was it that offbeat snare?
Yeah, the little offbeat thing.
He didn't like the offbeat snare, and he goes, just keep it straight, and I'm going, no, something about that offbeat that gets me, so. We kind of agreed to differ, but I think the end result was.
I ended up playing what was on there because.
Well, I suppose again, like using the same guy again, also maybe has the advantage of him sort of knowing your process, knowing your sound, sort of having an idea of what you want to sound like.
Yeah, and like the process is the word, right? Even for us, there was a process, So send it away, you sort of get this thing back. As I say, and you're not too micro, because you're not in the studio sort of talking about delays or too much on that micro stuff. You sort of get a bit more, or you can take a bit more of an objective view when you sort of get something that's kind of mixed in whole. And often the first one isn't right, and so but we kind of know how to respond to that and go, okay, well, can you make these sort of adjustments? And usually pretty quickly thereafter, he'll have it back to us and really close, if not there, you know. So it's just kind of that works. So, you know, if you go another direction, you've got to work out that process all over again, and you run the risk that it doesn't work, and you know you got to pay money for these things. So we sort of felt, and Thomas is great. Like he is, you know, Craig has all the actual direct contact with him, but he's been very patient. You know, sometimes even on the album, there's a couple of songs that we kind of got him to do quite a few different things over time till we sort of got what we wanted, and never did he sort of complain, right? About he just kind of got done. Yeah, how about this? And he was actually really into it. So it works. So you know,
it must be such a tough job, man, to be something, because you are literally like it's someone's baby, it's someone's art, and you put the responsibility over to someone else to try and sort of shape it for you.
He does when we're in correspondence with each other, he does ask. He actually kind of demands that you give him a demo tape, a demo of the song. What have you got in your mind? And then he listens to that, and then he tries to mix it, not to the demo, but he kind of gets an idea of what you want from it.
Or for you guys to do an actual demo mix of the song.
He says, look, just send me a rough mix. That's it. Send me a rough mix so that I know kind of like what you think is okay. And then he might listen to that rough mix and he go, okay, they want thrashy hi-hats in this one, or they, you know, and then so he tries to mix accordingly.
Right. Interesting. So you wouldn't send him like a reference song saying, I remember, for instance,
he did ask for a reference song a few times.
Yep.
And but we got out of the habit of that. I think I sent a Killers song or something first time up.
That's yeah. I think you're pretty fond of the Killers.
Yeah, and but yeah, no, we didn't get the reference song. Didn't happen after that. So.
Well, again, works well. Like, sounds fantastic.
I think it's working. Yeah.
So when can we expect the next single or the EP even?
Well, I guess we're sort of more focused on just getting the songs out rather than sort of, you know, the EP will, you know, should naturally fall out the back of that, right? So, but we're sort of more focused on just getting the next batch of songs done.
Yep.
So we're working on the next one at the moment. So we've tracked the drums and the bass, and we're just sort of working on refining those today. And then we'll just sort of build it up from there in terms of, we've sort of tracked a lot of the ideas in terms of the arrangement, guitars and that, but kind of going now to sort of go back and retrack, you know, with proper sounds. And so I don't know, that maybe I sort of do this gig this week, and then we can sort of turn our attention back to try and getting this one finished.
Yep.
And you know, off the Thomas.
Super cool that you're doing them like one at a time, rather than, you know, doing a batch of drums first and then layering that and sending everything off at the same time.
Yeah, well, I guess that's one of the luxuries of us, right? That we can do that, right? The ability to do that. So you know, we'll see. I mean, it's interesting. Again, Craig and I having a conversation today about the whole releasing album thing, right? And you know, really, my conclusion after a lot of conversations with people in the industry is that probably for bands that are still, you know, getting a name or whatever, it's probably a complete waste of time releasing an album, right? Because songs get lost in an album. You can send your album and you could have 5 great songs on there, and the only song that people will listen to is the one you sugar feed them through a video clip or something, right? And so you can say, "Oh, did you listen to the album?" "Oh no, didn't really listen to it." So if you have actually got great songs, giving them in a bulk form is probably a bit of a waste of some of those songs. So delivering some singles and putting more focus on those probably makes a lot more sense. And an album probably makes a lot more sense a bit further down the track. If you've actually got a real following and people are excited about a new product and, you know, delivering them, you know, something that they can listen from go to woe, probably makes a bit more sense at that stage. So, yeah, and plus it can be very overwhelming trying to put an album together. You know, the micro stuff of, you know, in the studio.
Being able to finish it.
It's a big job. It's a really, really big job. And what that means is sometimes that overwhelming can mean you lose a bit of that enjoyment, right? And so hopefully what we want to do is just kind of, you know, keep on the enjoyment, put out great songs, release them, do a clip, because we love that process, go and do some gigs, because we love playing live,
Yeah.
and we think we're a great live band. So you know, just kind of keep that little cycle going.
Yeah, no, totally agree. So yeah, that's probably going to be the formula now, just to release them one at a time, and hopefully, be nice if we could actually sort of get a bit ahead of ourselves and start to track all the stuff, so that we've kind of have them ready, mixed and ready, and then we can release them when we want to release them, if you know what I mean.
Absolutely.
And then concentrate more on getting some gigs and like
Some more
doing some
videos
clips.
and all that.
Have it all ready before, you know.
I think we know ourselves too well, though. As soon as we got something finished, we're like,
That's-
quick, let's put it out.
I know.
And you're excited
That
about
is
it,
so
and,
true.
and,
That
and
is
it's like,
so
okay.
true.
And we I think we were planning on sitting on Fallen
I
Line
know.
and doing some other stuff for the album, because we thought, oh, well, there's already that stuff done. But we were so excited about the new one, we're like, oh,
That's
fuck,
so
let's
true.
put it out.
Like I said, it works super well though. Like, and it sort of had everything lined up, no pun intended.
Yeah,
But again, like you had the video clip ready. Like you didn't, like, by the time the song was ready, like you still played it live a couple of times, and then
right.
put it out. So you sort of build up that excitement. You had some excitement on social media as well. Like you dropped the whole singles out in 2 weeks. So even though it might have felt like you rushed it, it certainly from an audience perspective, certainly didn't feel like that.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
And again, just a little side comment to the whole album thing. I suppose you guys can lay back a little bit. You've got 2 full albums out already, which is sort of quite spectacular for an upcoming band to have two full lengths.
Oh, it's funny. We were just thinking about that today. We've kind of got to the stage now where you go, what are we going to do? This set list on Saturday for this gig. So we're playing for an hour. Yeah, okay, so that's probably about 13 songs. And you look through and you go, now we've got to leave songs out that we don't want to leave out, you know? So that's a nice position to be in, though.
And we're in
100%.
we're in the funny situation where you and I share the live duties as well. So I've had to learn your parts from the first album, and you've learned mine and everything. And so I don't know whether your viewers or listeners know about that, but it's been fun learning all of your parts off the first one. So
and likewise. We obviously got to run through some of the new songs again later this week. But yeah, that's super cool. And yeah, like again, really, it's so cool for me. I'm really honored to be able to share the stage and share your spot for a couple of gigs there.
But honestly, this is the great thing about it, and I actually so happy that it's worked out this way. That it's like a family, you know. And I just would, you know, I mean, even because you've been involved, obviously, and Matt was involved earlier. I would still love, you know, at some point in the future, maybe Matt can come up and do some samples. I was talking to him today, and he's playing keys for someone on the weekend in a band. So, you know, I like that. You know, if we can.
Well, he came up and did the rap part at your.
That's
your
right. He
album
did the
launch.
rap part of the launch. Yeah, so that was good. Yeah, so.
Good stuff. Well, there might be an opportunity to maybe invite him to come down and do some rapping again or something.
Yeah.
Put the hat on. That's it, man.
it.
Cool. Well, before we wrap up here, where should people go to sort of stay on track about what 46 Brigade are up to? Like social media platforms. You obviously have a YouTube channel with a lot of content on.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind trying to promote the YouTube channel, but it's something we haven't done. We've got a lot of videos on there to a lot of songs, and it just always seems to be, you know, the Facebook page. But we have, if you would like to go to the YouTube channel, I think it's like, how do they do it? Is utu.be/46 Brigade? Is that the way they do it?
No, you still just write.
You still do
YouTube. You just write
YouTube.com/46
youtube.com/.
So anyway, that's it. So there's a lot of stuff on YouTube. That would be great. And what was it? Like and subscribe. That's the most important stuff that I don't even know.
Smash like.
Yeah, so
Smash
smash
that
that like button.
And Craig's got an OnlyFans as well. that he'd like to.
What does that mean?
You look that up when you get home.
All right, okay.
What's that?
Oh, I don't know.
Do we do? It's something we need to bring out in the open.
I don't know. Is it R-rated? This OnlyFans
I only
thing?
know about it because of Bernard Tomic's girlfriend or whatever.
That sounds.
But anyway,
we might have
the
a chat about off
YouTube
camera.
channel would be good. And obviously, we've got a website, 46brigade.com, and we've got the Facebook page. We don't really get onto Instagram. We've got to try and get a bit more Instagram, but
We're
we've
really
got
a
a
Facebook kind of.
Yeah.
That's sort of our demographic,
Yeah,
isn't
demographic,
it?
yeah.
I suppose like we're not on TikTok or.
We are
anything.
actually on
Oh,
TikTok.
We
Yeah,
are.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
we got
Well,
all.
yeah,
In
well,
fact,
there
I
you
think
go.
your daughter was dancing to one of the
We
songs.
did do one, yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, you got to share that. You got to share that
yeah.
on Facebook or
Obviously, what
something.
you want is-
Yeah.
I don't
I
even
don't
know
know.
what TikTok is. Obviously,
Yeah,
But
Yeah,
I
yeah,
suppose
yeah.
again, you got to pick the platform you're most comfortable with. And
Yeah, well, I
and
mean,
just
you
go
know,
with
like,
that.
a lot of people are on Instagram, so we should do more on that. But I've just never spent a lot of time on it. But yeah, anyway,
There is
they're the
actually a
main-
46 Brigade Instagram handle. I think that might actually be Matt's.
No, well, it was originally, but yeah, I've got that's all sorted. I've got that.
Right.
I think that's changed from Matt's name to mine, but anyway. Yeah, but it's definitely we still post on Instagram, but I don't know what it comes up. I don't know, maybe we can
Oh,
sort it out, but
get that sorted out.
yeah,
Yeah, so go to YouTube.
yeah,
46 Brigade on YouTube. That's
Yeah.
your best bet.
Yeah.
I think so.
Get some more videos coming out.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
and Facebook in terms of keeping an eye on the gigs. That's really probably where we're sort of really promoting.
Well, again, it
everything.
makes sense on Facebook because you can tag the venue, you can tag the other bands
right,
and all
yeah.
stuff. You can't.
Yeah,
You can't
Here's
really
a
do it
question
the
for you,
same way.
Steph. Because you talk to lots of bands. What works better? Official type videos or lyric videos? What do you reckon?
I think they're two very different audiences because again, like personally, I love the lyric videos, but that's because I love to read what the song is about, like
Yeah.
to get that extra side of the song. But in my opinion, one doesn't outrule the other.
Okay.
And if you're on a budget, then 100% just do a ton of lyric videos because you can either do them yourself or you can get someone on
that's
Fiverr
right.
to do them for like
Yeah.
30, 40, $50
Yeah,
if you want something that looks sort of half decent.
No, I was just curious of what other bands think of that idea of what works for them, because you obviously speak to a lot of bands. So.
Again, what I would do and what I'm planning on doing personally for my album is like I'm gonna do like a collection of videos for every song, for every single song, so you have the opportunity to promote each song. And again, for instance, like when you're listening to talk about Into the Great Unknown, there's so many good individual songs that you haven't even released yet. Like Roll on Monday is probably one of my biggest ones. Like even playing that, listening to it the first time I heard it, I still get goosebumps every time I hear it because it's such like you can hear the pain, you can hear what the lyrics are about.
Yeah, the realness.
And I think that would be an extremely powerful lyric video.
Well, yeah, well,
Got one up there. Actually.
Oh, well, there you go.
One,
There you
so
go.
we do actually have one up
Yeah,
there.
That's my bad.
That's on the YouTube. Yeah, that's on the YouTube
Yeah.
channel. Yeah.
But that is again, if you have those songs that have a really strong message, or whether it's either personal or something more like, obviously I remember like you had like Rise Up, that was more like the renegade stuff, right?
Yeah.
But I mean stuff like you can totally still do a lyric video because like I said, like it doesn't cost much and it's more content and it would appeal to people that may or may not already like the song, but they would like to also hear or see what the song is about.
Yeah.
And again, it doesn't cost much. I mean, you can obviously do it yourself. But it
Yeah,
sounds like in between you probably have quite a few talents there. But that's what I would do. And also something that you've been really good at is doing like the more stripped down acoustic versions as well.
Yes, yeah.
They're so, and again, like having all the expensive cameras and having a cool studio and stuff is something that'd be so easy to do.
Yes.
And that again is more content. It's something that shows that you can actually play the songs, in a different format. I think that's something a lot more bands should do. And especially because in your case, like you have got the really strong harmonies, they sound fantastic when you're doing it laid back.
Yeah.
Where the vocals really really pop out.
Yeah. Okay.
So
that's a good.
just thinking out loud. But that's some things that again would be very very easy and very quick to do as well. Yeah. If you can finish it.
Yeah. Well, that is the thing. It is, there is getting it all. There's a lot.
Here's another quick way of fixing that problem. You could set everything up because I know when we did the last live stream at your place, you had some sensational audio stuff, like the actual microphone audio sounded phenomenal. You could even set everything up so everything sounds great, and then just live stream it. Then it's done and dusted. You know what I mean? Yeah. Have it set up, come in, play a couple of songs, and you could even have it set up so you can actually cheat a little bit. You could actually go in and record a whole set and then live stream, say, 2 songs every so often from that set. Yeah. So it looks like you are playing live, but you aren't. Or you could just have a little concert and people could donate whatever they want to, or buy a t-shirt to support you or whatever. You got merch, right?
Well, we need
sticking point.
We're running out.
Yeah,
we're running out. It's been
We've
high
got
demand.
4 t-shirts left and a stubby holder, I think. So we need to refresh our merchandise. But we've got a little Ben kitty, and actually, hey Ben, you said you were going to design the next t-shirt.
I'm still working on it. I am. I really am. I just suck at
It's a whole need to
Photoshop.
finish it syndrome again.
Yeah, you had some good ideas. I remember you telling me about those shirts.
Yeah, I'm just very bad at
Can you
Photoshop.
share an idea with us what the t-shirt's going to look like?
Is it Spotify that photo from the video shoot of the 4 of us kind of staggered?
Yeah.
It's a silhouette of that.
Ah,
Yeah, with a.
like
You
it.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
You like it?
I like it.
Alright, I'll keep going then.
Yeah.
I just
Is that on the back or the front?
Is
or
it?
is it?
Yeah.
I can't give away any
Oh,
secret
yeah.
until you tell me who we're supporting.
Hey!
On the back of it's got dragons and stuff like Ed Harry shirts and stuff.
Like flaming skull with a dagger in it.
Yeah. So we'll get to the t-shirts hopefully soon. Yeah.
And we'll talk along those lines that potentially, something we'd love to do is some gigs in different formats, because I mean we really love playing the live shows as live rock band, but the songs translate so well in other formats, as you know, right? So at some point it'd be great to sort of do a show. We do a bit of a strip down, and we did when Ben wasn't available. We helped the scene, do a pilot for when they were putting their show together, their YouTube show, and so we never went to air, but we sort of went and helped them, and we did that as more of an acoustic version, and it was fantastic. We loved it, right? So. That is sort of something we probably wouldn't mind doing, and then we can do some different interpretations with a more acoustic. Maybe we could have Craig can play some piano or something and do some different versions.
Absolutely.
So we'd love to do that because we think it would actually we could. And we've actually, the 3 of us, Ben, Craig, and I have even we did a support down at Freo Social, about 6 months ago, where we did two acoustics in the bass and a stomp box.
Yeah, we could.
And it was great. The feedback we got from the people in the crowd was awesome. So the songs do translate in all those different formats. So we're really keen to do more.
Again, another really popular thing for content again is really like multi-angle live footage is something that is, because like when you are playing them in like the full band setup, with the drums and everything, and
Well, you could set that up, couldn't you? In the studio, pretty much. with all the
and
camera.
no, I'm talking about like when you're playing on stage.
Oh, I
so
see,
in front of an audience,
Yeah.
because again, like especially if you are sort of hoping to go, to play a big festival or go, even if you want to go over East or something like that, that would be really good footage to be able to show them how you're playing live. And again, that's in many cases also almost like a set and forget. Like you set up the cameras, whatever footage you have there. I mean, between you can probably edit it, but otherwise, again, you can pay someone on Fiverr like nothing, like $100-$200, and you have like a whole concert that's sort of chopped up. Again, just more tasks, more stuff that needs to be done.
It's almost like that, where you've got your drums and then you've got the sampler and then you're like, oh shit, I've got to bring my 6 cameras and all of that. So
otherwise you pay someone else to do it. Like you pay a videographer to come down and just so you take that off your hands. Like we don't need to stress about it. Someone else will do it. Someone will come down and set it up, and they're responsible for it to sound great. Just like you're paying Thomas for making the sound great. But just some ideas anyway. But social media, absolutely. Get onto Instagram. Get onto sharing.
Because I think that's the thing, is people enjoy it when we put it up. We wouldn't be bothering if people didn't enjoy it, because people really do seem to respond every time we put anything up. That's what Duncan was saying earlier. The response to the last film clip was like, I didn't really expect it.
Sometimes I feel that the more you put it up, you're bugging people. That's just a thing that I've got. But I suppose you have to, don't you? You just have to keep putting little things. I don't think
you can bug people with that stuff, because you can obviously keep putting stuff up, but if people are getting annoyed with it, they're probably just going to leave.
Yeah, that's right. Okay.
Yeah, I think the only time I ever get annoyed is when people put up low quality stuff that's just like shot on an iPhone and it's right next to the drums or whatever, and all you can hear is distorted hi-hats and stuff. That's when I turn off. But if it's pro shot stuff, I'll always click on it and have a look. even if it's not anything I'm real interested in. So
And especially it seems like especially you over the years, like you've got a good following from your previous music as well. So I would assume that every time you put stuff up, you're probably going to get some good engagement.
Yeah.
And
Seems to be the case. Yeah.
and I suppose one thing, same as a lot of other stuff, as long as you keep doing it, like you're gonna accumulate slowly more and more
That's right.
fans.
That's right.
And the cool thing about doing it online is the fact that you can reach people that are sort of outside limits, or outside, Astor Theatre or wherever else that you.
And it's always going to be there, so that at any time in the future, people can
exactly,
look at it.
exactly, it's beautiful.
Right.
yeah, but I suppose playing with bands like Ragdoll and Ashes of Autumn and Silent Deeds and all of that, it opens you up to their fan base as well that might not have ever checked you out. So
Hopefully, yeah.
So the live stuff fits in with it.
Yeah.
That's the way it's always been done, I suppose. But
That's it. Just gonna keep
on keeping on.
keep grinding at it. And again, if it's something you're not good at, either learn it or get someone else to do it.
Yeah.
So whether it's a
I'm
kid
not
or
any
someone
good at
else you
screen
want.
printing, all right? So don't ask me to screen print. Ben's pretty good at screen printing.
Buy a new setup after I get the design done.
Yeah. Hasn't Sam got the screen printer though?
No, I've got the vinyl cutter.
Oh, you got the vinyl.
I can do car
See, we
stickers.
can even make our own T-shirts. He's got a vinyl printer.
Oh, really?
Cottage industry. Oh no, yeah. I used to do screen printing, but I don't have the machine
Oh,
anymore. Oh,
yeah.
it's all right. Yeah, I'll get one.
That's so good.
It's just another thing to finish.
Yes. yeah, that's it.
Good
That's
at
it.
starting.
That's Ben's role.
Yeah.
Everything in its own time, I suppose. Yeah, fantastic, man.
That's right.
Guys, thanks so much, man. I'm really looking forward. Well, I'm looking forward to the gig and seeing you guys play on the weekend. And can't wait to hear some of the new songs.
Yep.
Whenever they're ready.
Well, hopefully it won't be too long. I think like Duncan was saying, maybe the next few weeks we might not release it then, but we might be ready to choose a date to release it,
Fantastic.
which will be the day after we finished it.
Yes.
The video.
I thought I had to retrack all the drums, but Craig found them today. So
Yeah, I
that's
found
good.
them. So yeah, it's all done. It's all done. We just went in and we deleted half of the stuff he'd already done.
Yeah.
No, it was
I
great.
couldn't remember sending them to you, and
Yeah,
you
no
couldn't
problem.
remember getting them,
Problem.
but apparently we did. So
Yeah.
Oh,
that's
wow.
so there we go.
Oh, that's good. That's fortunate.
That's
Sounds
how
like
much
another
we got going on.
sounds another repeat of the video camera story.
Yeah.
There's a theme to all this.
That's good.
Fantastic, man.
Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you so much, guys. I am
Thanks for having us.
actually maybe we should just quickly before we round up. Let me just quickly have a look and see if there is anything in here. We got a couple of them. That's just comments. It's not really any questions. So that's excellent. That's it, guys. Thank you so much for stopping by. Unless you got any last final
No,
words.
thanks to you, Steph, for having us in. But it was
This is great. What
always
you do.
It's good
always
fun,
great
man.
to do these things. It helps us a lot. You know.
It's actually I know people can't see that, but it is actually really hot now.
Yeah, that fire, man.
It's like a finished.
Jeez, that
sauna
must
or
be pretty
something.
good wood though, because not much of that wood's burnt. That's pretty good wood.
Oh, it actually
It's
has.
long
Like that used to be a big.
Oh, really? Did it?
Yeah, but
Wow.
again, it burns for like 3 hours. And
Fantastic.
Can you imagine that? Just
Did you get that as stock free footage as well?
It's downloaded from YouTube. It's
Yeah,
like
they-
the silent
Oh,
watcher.
the si-
The silent watcher.
I see.
Do they
Okay.
do fish tanks and stuff as well?
No idea, man.
Yeah.
But I'm sure they would. But it wouldn't have sort of the same appeal though.
Yeah.
And again, it is really hot. It's about a fish tank. It's sort of pretty neutral, I suppose. So,
Right.
anyway, thanks heaps, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Thanks,
much.
mate.
No worries.
Cheers.